the definition of business, I would like to take you through the characteristics of business activities, because if you understand what is the characteristic of a business, then you will very easily understand what is business. It will become very easy for you to understand the definition of business once you understand the characteristics of business. So let us start with the characteristics of business. Characteristics means features. What does it look like? Okay, so we will start with the first characteristic, and that is business is an economic activity. In this world, whatever kind of work we do, all those works can be categorized into two: economic activity and non-economic activity. What is economic activity? Economic activities are those by doing which you get some money. If you do any work and you are going to be paid for doing that work, then that work will be called economic activity. But suppose if you're going to do some work, but you're not going to be paid anything for doing that work, such a work or such an activity will be called a non economic activity. So, business is what? An economic activity. Why? Because we do business to earn money. We do not do business for charity. We do business to get some money into our hands. So, the first thing that we learn is economic activity. Business is an economic activity. Let me give you an example. Suppose you work in a restaurant, so that will be for, if you work in a restaurant, if you cook in a restaurant, then you will be paid for doing that work. You will be paid for cooking an item. So that is an economic activity. But suppose if you help your mother at home while she's preparing food for you all, then that won't be considered as an economic activity. Suppose you're helping your brother, younger brother or your sister with their classes, so that won't be considered as an economic activity. Why? Because you're not doing it to get paid. You're doing it because you love them. Suppose you're helping an old man to cross the road. That won't be considered as an economic activity, because you're not doing that to get some money. You're doing that because you feel that the poor man, the old man, he needs some help, and that's why you want to help that man cross the road, and that's why you're doing that, not to be paid for doing that. So, any activity which brings you money, such an activity will be called as an economic activity, and any kind of work that does not bring any money to you, that will be called a non-economic activity. So, business is an economic activity because it brings you money. The second characteristic is business deals with production and procurement of goods and services. It is related to production or procurement of goods and services. Now, what is production? Suppose you're doing a business. Suppose you want to sell some vegetables. Now, if you want to sell vegetables, there are two options with you. The first option is that you can either grow vegetables in your garden and then go and sell those vegetables in the market, or you can get it, you can buy it from a farmer and then go to the market and sell it. So, business deals with production or procurement. Production means you're making it by your own and then going and selling it. Procurement means what? You're getting it from somewhere and then you're selling it. Okay, so you can do business either by making it and then selling it, or by buying a good and then selling it. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. In this picture you can see that you can either grow your own vegetables and then go to the market and sell, or you can get it, you can buy vegetables from someone and then go to the market and sell it. Okay, let's move to the third characteristic, and that is business deals with sale. For doing business, there has to be sale or exchange of goods and services. If you're not selling your item, then you're not doing business. Okay, goods or services have to be sold. Why do they need to be sold? Because only by selling you will get money. And an example, a very simple example, is helping your mother in the kitchen won't be considered as sale. Why? Because you're not doing an economic activity there, you're just helping your mother out, and that's why that won't be considered as a sale. Whereas if you're working in a hotel and you're preparing some food items for the customers, that will be considered as a business, because by doing that you are being paid. That is why that will be considered as a business. So helping your mother or helping anyone, doing anything that will not bring you money, will not be considered as a business. But if you do something, or if the products or the services, or if the goods and services are going to be exchanged, are going to be sold, are going to reach the customers, then that will be considered as a business. The fourth characteristic is dealing in goods and services on a regular basis. The word regular is very, very important in business. If you sell something once in a while, that won't be considered as a business. Let me give you an example which is depicted in this picture shown below. Suppose one of your friends come to you and say that I do not have enough money with me to take admission for PUC. Okay. So he comes to you and tells you his problem. You sit along with your parents and with your friends to discuss about this, and then you come up with an idea. Your families and your friends suggest you that we should do a fundraising event. Fundraising means fundraising means doing an event with a purpose. What is the purpose here? That you want to get some money so that your friend can take admission for PUC. So you will be going for doing a fundraising event, and you will be doing that by selling some baked cookies. Suppose your mother said that I will bake some cookies for you, so you can do a fundraising event, and you can go sell those cookies there, and whatever money you get out of it, you can use that money to get your friend admitted to a college. But will that be considered as a business? No, it won't be considered as a business, because you are not doing that on a regular basis. Uh, if you do something once in a while, that won't be considered as a business. Suppose you are helping your friend by giving him a book that you own. You told him that, yeah, you take this book, and for that book, your friend gave you some money. Okay. Normally it doesn't happen, but suppose your friend gave you some money. Will that be considered as a business? You got money also. That is an economic activity also. But will that be considered as a business? No. Just because you got money for selling a book to your friend won't be considered as a business. Any activity will be considered as a business if it is done on a regular basis. Regular basis means on a continuous basis. You have to do that continuously. If you do once, if you sell something once in a year, then that won't be considered as a business. But on the other hand, if you run a shop, let's say you're running a sweets or a bakery shop, and you are selling your items through that bakery or sweets shop, then that definitely will be considered as a business. Okay, so doing or helping someone through a fundraising event won't be considered as a business, because you are not doing that regularly. But if you are setting up a shop of your own, then that will be considered as a business. I hope this is clear to you. We will move to the next one, and that is profit earning. Every business starts with the aim of making profits. Suppose I tell you that you do all the work that is done in a business, but you will not get any profit. Will you be ready to do that? No, you will not be ready to do that. All of us, if all of us will be interested to do business only and only if we are being paid with profits, if we get profits. If you're not going to get any profits, we won't be interested in doing that business at all. So profit is very important for any kind of business. What is a profit? Profit is income minus expense. Whatever income you get from your business, from that income you have to subtract all the expenses, all the money. That means, uh, in simple terms, first you have to add up all the money that you get in. Okay, all the money that comes to you, add all those money, and from that money subtract all the money that is going out. All the money that is going out from you, subtract that from the money that you're getting in, you will get profit. So profit is what? Income minus expense is your profit. Now, why is profit so important for any company? Profit is important because if you do not get profit, your then your company won't survive. It is important to get profit so that your company survives. Survive means what? To live, to exist. If you do not, suppose if you do not get food, what will happen? You will die, right? So just like that, if you do not get profit, if a company does not make profit on a regular basis, then it will die, it will stop working, it will stop functioning. So that is why profit is so important for any business. The next characteristic of profit is uncertainty of return. Uncertainty means unsurety. You're not sure. Whenever we start a business, you have to invest some money into the business. Investing means to put some money into the business. Whenever you're starting a business, you start with some initial money. You have to put some, you need to have some initial money in your hand, which you are going to put it into the business. You have to invest some money in order to start a business, and that money is known as capital. That money is known as capital. But no matter, sometimes what happens is some people invest a lot of capital, they invest a lot of money into the business, but the returns, that returns means what? The the profit that they make out of it is not big. Sometimes some people, they invest less, but the profit that they get is huge. So it sometimes, so what shall we say, business is unpredictable. You cannot be sure that because I'm putting so much of effort, I will get a lot of return. You cannot be sure about it. So business is very uncertain. You might put a lot of effort and still not make a lot of money. Sometimes you do not put lots of effort, but still you end up earning a lot of money, because there are many factors that influence a business, not just one. Okay, so business is something which is not certain. You cannot be sure that you will earn a lot of money just because you're putting a lot of money into it or efforts into it, just or just because the people who are working under you are very good. Just because of that, companies may not uh, be successful. There are main, because there are a lot of factors that influence a business. So just by saying that, because I put a lot of effort, I should get, I'm sure that I will get a lot of profit. No, you cannot say that. You can look into this picture also. See, there are two men standing next to each other, and one, just by looking at the big leaf of the carrot, is thinking that he's going to get a lot of a huge profit. But at the same time, the man standing next to him, he's thinking, okay, whatever comes up, I'll see. But anyways, my leaf is not that huge. But just see what both of them do not know what is in their way. They do not know. They are expecting something entirely different. They are not. So both of them are expecting something, but the reality is going to be something different. So the same happens with business also. We sometimes put a lot of effort, lot of money, everything, and still it ends up in a loss. And sometimes when you put a lot of effort and money, it flourishes. Okay, so business is something which you cannot be sure about. So there is uncertainty of returns in business. Next, and one of the most important aspect of any business is risk. Risk is the probability or possibility of things not going to work according to your plan. And risk is something that you already know about. When you're going to start a business, you already know what are the problems that can happen or can come in your way. But still, you decide that, okay, I know that these are the problems that can come in my way. Let me give you an example. Suppose you're going to start a, a business of retail. Okay, you're going to sell clothes through your retail shop. What can happen? Maybe uh, a fire can catch all the goods that you have kept in your godown. Maybe some thieves can enter your store and steal away all the goods that you have kept in your store. Sometimes because you sell clothes, and if there is a change in the fashion, people will not prefer to buy the clothes which are of old fashion. So again, that will be a problem to you, because people will not come to you and buy their products or buy clothes. So you know that all these things can happen, but even after knowing all these things, you will still go ahead and start a business. That is known as risk. Risk is unavoidable. You cannot avoid risk, you cannot stop risk from taking place, but you can definitely do some, or make some preparation beforehand in order to reduce the effect of risk. Okay, so risk is unavoidable, it will happen. Let me give you a very simple example, an existing example, like lockdown. People knew, like, all the businessmen, they were sure that lockdowns are possible, but no one thought that it will really happen. Okay, so all, you can see how lockdown has affected businesses. That is again an example of risk. You know that there is a possibility that things will not go according to our plan, but still you go ahead with your plan and do it. That is known as risk. It is very important for every businessman to be a successful businessman. You need to take risk. If you do not, if you're not ready to take risk, you cannot be a businessman. So only and only if you're ready to take risk, you can become a businessman. So these are the 7 characteristics of a business. Let me take you through it once again very quickly. So the first one that we studied is, business is an economic activity. That means it is an activity that brings in money. By doing that work, we get money. So that is considered as an economic activity. The second is that business is done by dealing in production or procurement. What is production? You can either make it and sell it. Procurement means what? You can either buy it from somewhere and sell it. So you can either make it and sell it, you can manufacture it and sell it, or you can either buy it from somewhere and then sell it. So business deals with production or procurement of goods and services. Next, we move to sale or exchange of goods and services. For any business to take place, sale is very important. If you do something, if you prepare something, but you do not sell it, then that won't be considered as a business. But if you prepare something and then sell it, then that will be considered as a business. Next is, business deals in goods and services on a regular basis. I said the word regular is very important. If you do something, if you sell something once in a year, that won't be considered as a business. But if you do, or if you sell something on a regular basis, that will be considered as a business. Next is, business involves profit earning. Every businessman starts doing business with the motive, with the intention, with the aim, with the goal of making profit. Profit is the first aim of doing any business. Next is, business is uncertain. We are not sure of what is going to come. Even after putting a lot of money as, as an investment in the form of capital, we cannot be sure that we will be getting lots of profit. So what is capital? The sum of money that you invest in, that you put into a business, the sum of money using which you start a business, that money is known as capital. So you do not know, even after sometimes putting a lot of money, you will end up making losses. You do not know. So that is why we say business is uncertain. Business is, you cannot be sure about what is going to happen in a business. And definitely risk is the possibility of things not going according to what you have planned. And what did I tell you about risk? It is unavoidable, but the effect of risk can be reduced. If you do some preparations beforehand, then you can reduce the effect of risk. But risk as a whole cannot be avoided, it cannot be stopped from happening. You cannot stop risk from taking place. Suppose you can you really stop a thief from coming to your store and stealing the goods? No, you cannot. Can you stop something, a fire from taking place? Sometimes you can make some arrangements in order to prevent it from happening, but you cannot stop that from happening it altogether. You can make some prior arrangements to reduce the effect of the fire that takes place, but you cannot stop because you do not know from where it will come, how it will come. Some small errors are enough to become huge problems. So because of that, you do not know what will happen. So definitely risk is something that you have to go ahead with when you are starting a business. If you want to become a businessman, you have to learn how to take risks in your life. Definitely there are possibility that you might uh, end up in a huge trouble, but still you have to take the risk in order to become a businessman. Only if some, because some of the businesses, they are very risky, but the profits that you get out of it are huge. Okay, definitely if you fail, then there is no chance of recovering. You cannot come back. You will, maybe you will just become complete, you'll become a beggar. You'll come on the streets. But some of the businesses are so, where if you take risks, you can end up making lots and lots of money. So that is about the characteristics of business. Now that we have discussed about the characteristics of business, let's enter into the concept of business. I hope this will be easier for you to understand. So now let us see what business is. Business refers to an occupation. Occupation means what? Work. Business is a work, right? In which people regularly engage. I told you the word regular is very important. Not once in a while, not once in a month, not once or twice in a year, but regularly. So business refers to an occupation, means a work in which people engage regularly in activities. Again, in work, activities related to what? Related to purchase. That means you can either buy goods from somewhere, production, or you can produce those goods on your own. You can either buy it from somewhere, you can either produce it or make it on your own, and then sell it. Sale of goods and services with a view. That means with the aim. What is the goal? The goal is to earn profits. So business is an occupation in which, or occupation or a work which people do, which is related to purchase, production, sale of what? Of goods and services with a aim of earning profits. Or in other words, or we can also give one more thing, in other words, business is an activity in which production or purchase of goods for sale takes place. That means you are either producing or you're purchasing goods, but with what intention? You're doing that with the intention to sell. Sell, why do you want to sell it? You want to sell it for two reasons. First is to definitely earn profit, and the second one is to satisfy the needs of the people. If I say you produce a pen, then you will be willing to produce that pen. Why? Because you know that people use pen. Suppose I ask you to produce, what shall I say, some satellites. Okay, suppose uh, make satellite so that you can sell it to your friends. Will you do that? No, because you know that your friends do not need satellite. So, only if you know that people need some items, will you be willing to make those items. So, business is an activity which consists of production or purchase. You can either make it on your own or buy it from somewhere with an intention of selling, with the aim of selling that product into the market. Why do you want to sell it? Because you want to earn profit and you want to fulfill. Satisfy means what? Satisfy means fulfill. You want to fulfill the needs of the people. So to sum it up, I can say that business is defined as an economic activity. Okay, if you have considered all the characteristics that we discussed, that all the characteristics are there in this definition. Business is defined as an economic activity involving, that means, which has the production and sale of goods and services undertaken, that means done, with a motive. Motive means aim, with a motive of earning profits by satisfying human needs. So you are going to earn profits by satisfying human needs. If you do not sell items which people do not need, then you will not be able to make profits. Okay, and where does that take place? It definitely takes place in a society. So this is the concept of business. I hope this is clear to you. I hope the idea of or the concept of business is clear to you. Now I hope it has become more clearer to you as to what business is and what it looks like. So regarding this class, I have prepared a note upon it. I will be sending it to you all. Please open that and take down the notes. So that note actually starts with word meanings. So in the first section, you will find some word meanings of the terms which has been used in the notes. You need not take down those word meanings. Okay, that is just to refer. You can go back to those word meanings and see what is the meaning of different terms. So please do not take down that word meanings. Start from the concept of business. So I've given you the definition, and I've also given you the explanation of all the points under characteristics of business activities. So you can take down the notes. Please maintain a business studies notebook, and please take down the notes. Not just studying or not just attending the class is important. Please keep on writing down the notes so that you become more aware of different terms which are related to this subject. Okay, so every day, every time, whenever I take the class on based on the syllabus. Now this class which I have taken today is related to your syllabus. It is there in your syllabus, and that is why I am asking you to take notes. There will be classes where I will not be taking topics straight away from your syllabus, and I will tell you whether you should take down the notes of those classes or not. But at least for this class, you must take down the notes, and please maintain a notebook for this.